Yes Bank gets a new lease of life and it is about to raise 10,000 crores via debt market. WazirX has been summoned by Enforcement Directorate. Few important quarter 4 results being announced by the Indian companies today, and we'll also try to wrap up the week and see what are the events which were important for the market and how do they impact the market. And at the end, we'll also try to understand what could be the technical outlook from the market for the week to follow. Hi there, my name is Hitesh, and I welcome you all to daily market updates by Trade Brains. If you're new to our channel, please comment, like, and subscribe on our videos, and please don't forget to press the bell notification icon. So the biggest news today came from the banking sector. Yes, the news came from the Yes Bank. The banks which has been struggling for last 2 to 3 years has now got a new lease of life, and the board has approved raising 10,000 crores via debt securities. It remains to be seen that how will it be subscribed and what will be the response to it. But it seems like the Yes Bank has got some plan up their mind and they are trying to revive the whole situation of the Yes Bank. The next big news came from the Enforcement Directorate. Yes, they've sent a show cause notice to WazirX for crypto transactions worth 2,800 crore rupees. So they are suspecting a major issues with the transaction of those 2,800 crores. And ED is also of the view that the transaction were in the contravention of FEMA Act, that is the Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999. They are also suspecting a major case of money laundering in this case, whereby which the money has been transferred to China. Now the problem which WazirX here is that on the app you have various mode of payment. You can use cryptocurrency against INR, cryptocurrency against any other currency. So there is a possibility that the money laundering can be happening through this app. It remains to be seen that what happens in this situation, because WazirX is a known brand in the cryptocurrency market. They are one of the most reliable name, and if you remember in the recent IPL, the ads were being flashed continuously in between the game. Now, this is a list of IPO which we should keep our eye open on. They will be hitting the street in the next week. The IPOs are Sham Metallics and Energy, Navodaya Enterprises, Dodla Dairy, Sona Comstar, and Krishna Institute of Medical Science. Yes, these are 5 major IPOs which are hitting the market. Do let us know if you want to talk more about these IPO. We can have a detailed discussion on these and try to understand which IPOs are investment worthy and which IPOs could be avoided for time being. Now focusing our discussion on the few quarter 4 results which were announced today. So NHPC came up with its own quarter 4 results and they had 80% jump in their profit. They had a very decent quarter. Their quarter 4 financial year 20 profit was 258.83 crores, which jumped to 464.6 crores, and which was a jump of nearly 80%. Plus, their board also announced a dividend of 3.5% on the face value, which comes out to be 35 paisa per share. So overall, it has been a good quarter. The income was 2,382.3 crores, and which was 2,094.3 crores in the previous quarter. So overall, NHPC has not done bad in the market, especially considering that one year all the major companies have suffered because of pandemic. The other results which came out today was from Sale, and they had a blockbuster quarter. They did very well today. The net profit went up by 31% at 3,470 crores. They have done very well in the market. In the previous year, same quarter, they had a profit of 2,647 crores, which jumped to 3,470 crores, so a jump of 31%. And at the closing of the day, the share prices were also up by 5% for the day. So the street actually liked the performance, and which was reflected in the share price performance of Steel Authority of India Limited. Now let us move our focus to the news or the events which are very important for this week and which actually had an impact on the movement of the share price. So the first news came itself from the government of India. The government of India said that to achieve the herd immunity, we need to vaccinate 700 million adults by September 30th. So what do we understand by this? To achieve any form of herd immunity, 80% of the population will have to be immune to that virus. So to do that, about 700 million adults will have to be vaccinated, because 63% of Indian population is adults. And to achieve herd immunity, we need to vaccinate at least 70 crore people by September 30th if we want to have a herd immunity against COVID virus. So how do we go about doing that? The current rate of vaccination which is happening right now will not help in doing that. We need to vaccinate at 3 times the speed what we are doing right now. It looks like a big task ahead for the center and the state government, but considering that the government has got plans for it, we should be optimistic and hope that this number is achieved and we don't have to see the third wave of COVID in our country. Walmart has given nod to Flipkart to come up with the IPO, but there is no specific timeline decided yet. It clearly shows that the Flipkart, Amazon, Paytm, Reliance, Tata, everyone is in a tight competition for e-commerce. We are seeing acquisition by different companies at different levels. Yesterday we saw major investment by Tata in 1mg, that is a e-commerce medicine delivery platform. And we've also heard news about other investments coming in the other e-commerce. And as we are all aware that Paytm is already planning to come up with one of the biggest IPOs the country has ever seen. So the competition in the e-commerce segment is heating up. It only remains to be seen that who comes out on top, but one thing is for sure that we are going to have interesting times in the e-commerce segment in the nearby future. India exports hit $7.7 billion in the first week of June. Yes, the pandemic has not impacted the export market. In the first 3 months of this year, also we hit the export of nearly $30 billion on every month, and the highest was achieved in the month of March, which was $34 billion. And even in the month of June, looking at the performance of the first week of June, we should be able to achieve the $30 billion export mark. Now, why hasn't the export been impacted? Because the European countries and the American countries have been able to handle the situation of COVID better. They focused more on the vaccination of the population, and because of that, the second wave didn't impact them that much as it impacted the other Asian countries and other smaller countries. So there's a lot to be learned from them. But one thing is for sure that the demand for Indian goods is on a rise, and once the situation of COVID normalizes, we should be seeing robust growth in the export market also. Commercial vehicle sales to grow by only 23 to 25% in the current financial year, and this report has been published by CRISIL. In the previous report which they published, they said the growth could be around 35 to 38% and could touch even 40, but the numbers have been cut down because of the COVID pandemic. The COVID pandemic has actually impacted the demand for commercial vehicles. The economy has been slowed down, and over the last 50 to 60 days, we have seen lockdowns in various parts of the country, which has reduced the sales considerably. So we gonna have a growth, but growth will be on the slower side. But it doesn't mean that the growth will continue at the same pace for year-on-year basis. Once the situation of COVID normalizes, we should be seeing major growth in the commercial sector also. Now focusing our discussion on our favorite part, there is a number crunching part. So Nifty, Sensex and Bank Nifty, all of them had a very good day. Nifty again touched a new high and closed near the 15,800 levels. So the bull run is on the rise. There seems to be no stopping to it, and there is no reason for us to believe that the 16,000 level won't be touched early in the next week. There is no negative sentiment in the market as such, and even the COVID situation is coming under control. And we are seeing the major cities in India also opening up and relaxing the restrictions of the COVID. So looks like we are gonna see more optimism and more positivity coming in the market in week to follow. The top gainers for the day were Tata Steel, Coal India, and JSW Steel, and the top losers for the day were L&T, HDFC Life, and SBI Life. Now, the stock which gained the most for this week. This stock was on a blockbuster run today, and I'm talking about the shares of Adani Power. At the start of the week, we were trading around the 100 rupee mark, and the high for the week was around 164, 165 levels, and eventually closed around 148 levels, which means a major gain of 40% this week. This stock has been on a bull run, and all the other Adani stocks also performed well in this week. The major loser of the week was HDFC. The closing price for this week was 2,559.880 paisa, and the previous week close was 2,600. So it wasn't a big major loss for HDFC share. It was only 59% or 2.26%, which actually shows the magnanimity of the move in the market and the bull run. There's a lot of optimism in the market, and we could be seeing that continue in the days to follow. Now, what are the factors which pushed the market to newer highs today? The first was improvement in the performance of the auto sector, IT sector, metal sector, pharma stocks, and even the banking stocks have done well. All the major indices have done well, and all the stocks under those major indices have also done well. Positive sentiment in the Asian markets, and which has been rubbed off from the US market share performance and the treasuries performance. All the Asian markets ended in green today, and most of them are trading near the all-time highs. So these are good times for the equity market. If you are a bull in the market, we are making merry every day. And strong quarter four performance. This week we saw quite a few good strong quarter four performances, and which actually had an impact on the overall positive sentiment in the week. Now this is the daily chart of Nifty. If you look at the chart today, the market has been able to close around the 15,800 levels, which augurs well next week. So what does that do is that it makes the level of 15,650, which was actually tested a couple of days back, an important level of support for the market. And as long as the market is trading above that level, there is nothing to worry. There shouldn't be much of a dip. Any dip comes around those levels, becomes an opportunity to buy. And if the market starts to trade below the level of 15,600 or say 550, we could be seeing profit booking coming in the market. And on the upside, the first little target for the market is 16,000 levels. So that is it from us in the weekly market update. I hope you had a great week. You have a good trading week. I hope to see you in the coming week in our more episodes of daily market update and weekly market update. Thank you so much.